Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I, too, would like to welcome back our former colleague, Senator Corker. Great to see you back at the committee again. As you pointed out, we're here today to consider 4 nominations, Mr. Gruenberg, Mr. Hill, Mr. McKernan, and Ms. McLean, to the posts that you listed. The FDIC nominations represent a long overdue return to normal order. The agency has not been governed by a full 5-member board since 2015 and has not had a vice chairman for over 4 years. But more troubling, after former Chairman Yelena McWilliams was virtually forced out in February, the board has been comprised of only 3 members, all of the same political party, and 2 of whom serve in an acting capacity. While I commend the Biden administration for finally nominating a full slate of FDIC directors, including a permanent chairman and a vice chairman, I have several concerns with Acting Chairman Gruenberg's nomination to again serve in that role permanently based on his previous actions. Last year, Mr. Gruenberg helped to lead a partisan power grab at the FDIC board, under which he and his fellow Democrat board members disregarded nearly 90 years of agency precedent of allowing the chair to set the agency's agenda. Until this coup, which forced out Chairman McWilliams, all FDIC board members, Democrat and Republican, had followed this precedent. During the Obama administration, the Department of Justice and financial regulators launched the now infamous Operation Choke Point. This program attempted to coerce banks into denying services to lawful yet politically disfavored businesses, such as firearm manufacturers and payday lenders. The FDIC's own Inspector General found that FDIC personnel targeted these businesses, and I quote, consistent with the widely held understanding that the highest levels of the FDIC disfavored these types of banking services, end quote. Well, the highest levels of the FDIC, of course, included Mr. Gruenberg, who led the FDIC from 2011 through mid-2018. And we know from court documents in Operation Choke Point-related litigation that Mr. Gruenberg and his team played a role in directing banks to cease relationships with payday lenders. I remain concerned that some of the left still believe in Choke Point's central tenet that financial regulators should misuse their regulatory apparatus to debank or limit credit to lawful yet politically disfavored businesses. As we've seen in word and deed from other nominees, this is a very real threat to businesses, especially in the traditional energy sector. I worry that this pattern of pressuring banks not to provide services to lawful but disfavored businesses may be again emerging at Mr. Gruenberg's direction. Earlier this year, my office received whistleblower reports that the FDIC has been deterring banks from doing business with crypto-related companies. I understand that one paused activity is custody of crypto assets. Well, this activity has not disappeared, but rather has simply migrated to less regulated companies, often in foreign jurisdictions with weaker regulatory regimes. And we've recently seen how that can end. Finally, based on Mr. Gruenberg's 9 months as acting chair, as well as the events that led to his time in that role, I'm concerned that he may continue to politicize the agency. On his very first day as acting chair, Mr. Gruenberg announced that the FDIC would join the Network for Greening the Financial System. This is an international group committed to denying capital to carbon-emitting industries. Now, while I appreciate his recent acknowledgement that, and I quote, credit allocation decisions are responsibilities of financial institutions, end quote, the statement appears to be in conflict with this action. If confirmed, I urge Mr. Gruenberg to depoliticize the agency's work and restore the FDIC's independence. Today we will also hear from Travis Hill and Jonathan McKernan. Both nominees are extremely well qualified to serve on the FDIC board. Mr. Hill's significant experience in both the legislative and executive branches will deepen the FDIC's board's expertise and enhance the quality of its deliberations. As senior counsel on the Banking Committee, he worked on several pieces of bipartisan legislation over several Congresses, and during his time as an advisor to former FDIC Chair McWilliams, he spearheaded numerous policy initiatives, worked constructively with agency career staff and other board members. I commend him for his public service, and I look forward to hearing how he will approach his role as FDIC Vice Chair. And in a few moments, Senator Corker will introduce Mr. McKernan, an exceptional nominee with valuable private sector experience and a commitment to public service. I have personally worked with Jonathan during his time as an FHFA attorney detailed to the Banking Committee. I know firsthand that his knowledge of banking and housing finance issues will equip him well to serve on the FDIC board. And in addition to his substantive expertise, I've been impressed by his diligence and character, and I look forward to supporting his nomination. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.